Reign of Queen Latifah still going strong among her many titles. Oscar nominee, musician, TV star, label president, author, and entrepreneur. Did I leave anything out?
I was about to say, I'm tired just hearing that. And now she's back in her role as Ellie, the woolly mammoth, in the new animated movie, Ice Age Collision Course. Take a look.
Do you think you're ready to go out roaming on your own?
I won't be alone. I'll have Julian.
But with asteroids flying, no home to speak of, and absolutely no support system, do you think you'll be ready for this?
I'm a little baby.
Ridiculous.
My goodness, good morning.
Good morning. How
You know what? I was reading this morning, Ice Age films are said to be one of the biggest animated pictures, motion pictures, in the world.
In the world.
This is huge.
It is amazing, and it's so exciting to be doing another one. Just getting to see it yesterday, the animation is crazy. It's so funny. It's so many characters, all these new characters. But I mean, it always comes down to probably for me, my favorites are Scrat, which is the character that starts the trouble every time and almost ruins the world. And then like John Leguizamo and Wanda Sykes voice characters, Granny and Sid, and they just, anything they say is just so funny. I mean, especially Wanda. She got more one-liners in this movie. You're like, what? But it's fantastic.
I'm always curious how an artist who does so many things like yourself, you can sing, you do Broadway, you dance, you do all those things. How do you approach an animated feature because it's so different from what you normally do?
You pretty much want to come into the studio with very soft clothing on. You know, it's one of the best gigs because you don't have to really do hair and makeup, but you want to wear like no jewelry and soft things because you're going to be going
right.
And you don't want it rubbing up against you, you know, and the mic will catch it all. So you want to kind of do stuff like that and just kind of let your imagination fly and get into it. And, you know, it's after 4 movies, I feel like I'm married to Manny, which is played by Ray Romano. So I feel like we've never worked in a studio together, but that's my husband, okay? And we have a child who is Keke Palmer, but Peaches. Peaches is our daughter. So after all these films, you just kind of get used to it and you watch it built over time. And so it's kind of like watching a layer cake being made slowly, and then when the movie comes out, you finally get to eat it.
Speaking of being a layer cake, let's talk about your career for a moment. First of all, I look at you and I'm thinking, U-N-I-T-Y, you know what I mean?
Don't we need a little bit of that right now? Don't we need a little U-N-I-T-Y? Right.
You got your films, you know, TV shows.
Girl.
You're running your entertainment company. Do you have a favorite lane, or is it one of those things where you like to do it all?
I do like to do it all. I think I've always been the type of person who liked to do many things at one time, whatever I felt capable of without stretching myself too thin. But I really like a challenge, and I'm bored easily. So, you know, if I'm doing one thing over and over and I kind of got it down, it no longer pushes me.
You're
you
ready
know,
for the next
I'm one of those people who needs to be pushed. You know, kind of has to step out of her comfort zone in order to feel like I'm really doing something. So
you mentioned in joking that we needed a little U-N-I-T-Y right now.
Man.
I grew up in New Jersey, like you did, listening to your music, and you always had a message in all of your music. As you've watched what's happened over the last 2, 3, 4 days with the police shootings and then the shooting of police in Dallas last night, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm almost at a loss for words with this situation. This goes wherever I go, you know. So, you know, all day I'm watching what's going on with Alton Sterling and the young man in Minnesota and his fiance and this baby, and then I got to walk into Ice Age screening. And am I supposed to like just let that go? No, it goes wherever I go. I'm black wherever I go. I'm Queen Latifah, but I'm black wherever I go. I deal with the same experiences that other people deal with. I'm also the daughter of a cop. I'm also the sister of a cop, the cousin of cop, the niece of cops. So do I want the guns to now be turned on cops? I don't want the guns turned on police no more than I want the guns turned on us. It's really time to stop playing around with this and lying to ourselves and acting like everything is cool and everyone is perfect. It's time to make an example out of someone, you know, as far as I'm concerned, who is a police officer. Because there's no way all these things could happen, and there's no guilty police officers.
What do you mean by that when you say make an example?
I mean that every time these things happen, no one is really brought to justice at the end of the day. By the time it's all said and done, the police officers usually walk. And what it does is leave us feeling empty and feeling hurt and feeling like we have no recompense. And that's going to happen again. And what it also does is endanger the life of police officers. It just creates more animosity. You make all these good cops have to walk out here dealing with bad cops BS, dealing with the stuff that bad cops are doing. So, and the thing about it is cops know that they're bad cops, but you leaving them, you know, I think their higher ups are leaving them powerless. They're leaving them with no place to go, nothing to do. So if they want to say, hey, this dude is a bad apple, they don't leave them in a position where they can say it. What happens? You say something about it, and now you know you're blackballed. Yeah. So this thing is something that has to really start from the top, because it's leaving police officers powerless, and it's definitely leaving normal black, particularly young men, powerless to just travel. We shouldn't have to feel, you know, we're paying your salary. We shouldn't have to feel like we got to throw our hands up in the air and roll down all the windows and, you know, walk a certain way. Damn it, I wear a hoodie. I mean, I don't want to be fearful of my life because I'm wearing my I played basketball. Yeah. I would have been walking home in a sweatshirt and some high top sneakers, and do I got to worry about that?
It's a challenging time.
It's terrible, but we have to get real about it. If we get real about it, we can deal with it. But if we want to act like, oh no, that's their problem and this only happens here, no, it's happening to all of us, and it should not have to affect all of us. We need police, and we also don't need to be the enemies of police. Like we need to kind of really come together, face our real racial issues, and deal with what's happening, you know, from a systemic point of view.
Thank you.
It's got to change.
As you said, coming from a family of cops too.
Yeah, man. I don't want my father, my brother getting shot, you know, because you know some bad cops are doing this consistently. And my brother, who became a cop, was also the victim of cops who harassed him. Yeah. You know, so it's so tricky for us, but we got to deal with this. We have to deal with it.
Well, thank you for talking with us this morning. And again, it's like you said, it's kind of a tap dance between, you know, why you're here. And obviously it's a family movie, so this is a good time for that. I should remind you, Ice Age Collision Course opens in theaters July 22nd. Thank you.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.